What is going on out there, everybody? Episode 17 of the All Around Sports Podcast with your host, Jim McAllister. Well, I want to just thank everybody right now for, just following me on Instagram and understanding that, I want to kind of wait a little bit to, put out this pod a little bit later than normal just because of kind of the timing of the games and wanting to react to Game 2 in a way where I can actually spend some time reacting to it. So, again, thank you guys all for the support. I appreciate everything, every follow, every like, every comment, every time you mention the show to somebody. It means a lot to me, so I just want to say thank you all very, very much for supporting the show and continuing supporting the show. Thank you. On to Game 2. A lot to react to. First things first. Once I thought, when Embiid was announced not to play, I kind of had this weird feeling that the game was going to be a lot closer than normal. I think as much as Embiid is a foul merchant and he is great at getting to the free throw line and getting into his offense and scoring and what have you, he is a major, major liability defensively. To the point where it's almost hard for him to get up and down the floor multiple times. So I felt in Game 1, the Knicks actually exploited Embiid quite a bit and were able to get a lot of open looks because of it. This game was completely different. I've said this, in earlier episodes. I've said this privately, and I'll say it again. The Sixers play faster when Embiid is off the floor. When he is off the floor, and you saw it when they put the Barlow kid in, he's going to be a difference maker in this series too, especially if Embiid can't go. They found something in him, which is very scary from a Knicks perspective. But anyway, when you have guys that can run, all right, Drummond slows the game down. He wants to stand in the corner, whatever. Bona, I like Bona. I think Bona's a good player. I just think he's just a little bit of a wild card. He gets a little too emotional. I'm all for playing with an edge. That's all great and well and dandy, but you have to be under control. That's how you separate, Get to that line, but stay at that line. Don't cross it. But anyway, when they put the Barlow kid in, and this was later in the game when Cat was really drawing fouls on both the bigs, which I thought he did a great job with. But again, Cat, with the dumb fouls. He's got to stop. And I think he understands he has to stop. This is just me reacting to it. I feel that when Cat saw that Embiid wasn't going to play, he's going, okay, it's a 30-20 night for me. And I think he tried to get to that point. And listen, he had a good game. Again, he's just out of control sometimes. You see when he plays within himself, the triple doubles. Okay, they run the offense through him, which I felt like they got away from him a lot last night. To me, it was too much dribbling. And the biggest bugaboo with this team is late game situations. Now, last night they did okay, but there were some scary moments where Brunson was getting trapped and you didn't know if he was going to make the right pass. And thankfully he did, because there's been instances, and you saw the one play at half court when he got trapped by Barlow, he turned over the ball. So again, all in all, good win for the Knicks. They're not going to play at that exceptional, we're going to blow everybody out by 25 plus level the entire series, but a win is a win is a win. And now we have to push forward to a Game 3 without OG Anunoby. I don't think Anunoby's going to be back probably for this series. And I know everybody's read Sham's report. It's a hamstring strain, okay? OG's not a very quick healer. Depending on the severity of the hamstring strain, it doesn't sound, but you're not going to get any information from the Knicks. I mean, you saw that last night through all the post-game comments, and nobody said anything, and that's fine. That's just the way they do things. And honestly, that's okay. You don't know about the severity of it until you kind of go game by game to see how much he's improved. There are no leaks on this team. They do not give out any information, okay? So it's going to be a game by game. You're not going to know if OG's going to be in or if he is or if he isn't. And that's okay. The reason why I'm bringing this up, obviously, OG losing him is a big blow. But, and I got to give the coach a lot of credit for this, because you know what? Nobody saw this coming throughout the season, and now because of where we are, it all kind of makes sense. He's built this depth in this roster where he can really put numerous guys out there, and you can trust them in situations. Perfect example. Landry Shamet last night came in, hadn't played, games, but productive when he was on the floor. Diawara in stretches, especially in the regular season. Again, productive player. length. He can defend. He can hit a three. Listen, nobody's going to give you the stat line or just the overall makeup of how OG Anunoby plays the game. No individual is gonna do that for you now. But you can kind of attack this with almost like a three-headed monster. You know, Jeremy Sohan has been relegated to the bench because he came in late. Again, he's there, but he's not there, kind of thing. But now, with OG being gone for, let's just kind of put it mildly, I feel he's going to be out the entire series. Until he's proven otherwise, I think he's out the entire series. But now you have a three-headed monster in Jeremy Sohan, Landry Shamet, and Mohamed Diawara that can take up those minutes. And again, you're not losing on the floor. I think one of the biggest things, especially a couple of years ago when this happened with OG, is that we didn't have any depth. And honestly, Thibodeau didn't want to play certain guys. He was very rigid in, I'm playing 6'7" guys, 6'7". I'm playing 6, 7, maybe 8 guys, okay? And I'm playing them 40-plus minutes. Brown's not like that. He's played 10, 11, sometimes 12 guys. And you can see it now as the season has progressed. Those guys, when they hit the floor, they're confident. They're going to hit a shot. They're going to know what to do. They run the offense fine. I think this is kind of the separator now, which means that the OG Anunoby injury, whether significant, very significant, it's not dire like it would have been years ago. Now, do I think, again, I'm a one game at a time kind of person. Like, I don't like looking ahead. I don't want to talk about the next series until it happens. That's just how I am. I want to react in the moment to where we are. So where we are right now is that the Knicks have a 2-0 lead, okay? They're going to Philly. Philly's scared, I'm going to be honest with you, because now they're doing some sort of geo-fencing, and they're not allowing Knicks fans to try to buy tickets from their website. Come on, man. Like, you know what kind of move that is. I don't have to tell you. Like, you're scared. You're scared. And you should be, because the last time this happened, Knicks fans invaded that building. It was like 70-30 Knicks. I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to be 50-50 Knicks-Philly Friday night. And depending on how that goes, it might be worse on Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Again, you never know. Everybody's got plans. I know I do, because my beautiful wife, she asked me, I asked her, what does she want to do for Mother's Day? And she told me what, and guess what? Nothing else matters. I know it's a game 4 at 3:30, but if we're going somewhere where she wants to go, guess what? That's what I'm doing. I'll watch a game. I'll watch it on my phone. I'll do something, but I'll pay attention to it. But nothing comes before family, as you guys all know. But again, let's worry about Sunday before Friday, right? So Friday, we're looking at right now a game 3 up 2-0. I feel like right now the Knicks kind of have the hammer. I think they figured something out, and they got a little lucky last night because Philly had a lot of open looks. A lot of open looks that they just didn't hit. I'm telling you, that VJ Edgecombe boy, oof, he scares me. He's the one, him and Maxey are those two guys on the team. Forget Paul George. Paul George is like a one-off, right? He'll have his moments here and there. I think that was his, whatever performance for the series. I think he shot after that. Oubre's a wild card. You don't really know what you're going to get from him. Edgecombe, Maxey are the two guys that when the ball's in their hands, they can get to the bucket whenever they want. And Edgecombe can shoot. Like he can shoot the ball. And if you're going to give him wide open looks, more often than not, he's going to knock them down. So you really got to pay attention to him. And again, he's a tremendous defender. I think he's somebody that, in a year last year where the Sixers just kind of decided with all the injuries and everything that, you know what, we'll punt the season, right? We'll get to this point. It worked because now you have a player in VJ Edgecombe you could build around. Okay, so I'm excited as a Knicks fan. I mean, again, I feel this is about as close as they've been in, who knows how long, to being a championship contender. I mean, you've kind of seen this build now gradually from the time where Thibodeau took over. You had the Randall years, you had Barrett, you had that, and now that Brunson's kind of really solidified the main role of this team and how much they've flourished and how much they've built this roster around him, this is now, it's championship or bust. Like, if they don't win it now, I don't feel like they ever are. I'm just being honest. I don't know. But I'm going to enjoy how this is going, and we'll react to it kind of in the way we've been reacting to it so far. With all that being said, hey, the Mets are winning a couple of games, huh? Like, do I have to come out on the podcast and just say they stink for them to, start kind of turning this thing around a little bit? Hey, a lot of season left. A good friend of mine, and he knows who he is. Shout out to my boy John. He said this to me numerous times when we were coaching together, and numerous times I'm sure he said this to his son Johnny and a lot of other people we know. there's a lot of game left. And what does that mean? There's a whole lot of season left. It's only May 7th, okay? You know, we got until the end of September for this thing. So a lot can change between now and then, as you guys all know. So the good news is that, you know, they're starting to, you know, kind of put some pieces together. You're starting to see them, you know, a lot of these, you know, these younger players start to kind of figure it out. Carson Bench being one of them. What a catch he made the other day in Anaheim. Oh my goodness. Boy, he just laid out for that one. I mean, he's starting to kind of figure it out a little bit, slowly figure it out. I think he's a guy that, again, this team can really depend on, you know, as the season progresses. Soto is just, he's just a monster. I mean, he impresses me just the way he takes his at bats and how he approaches, you know, the seriousness of the game. And again, it doesn't bother me that he doesn't talk to his teammates, you know, when he's not around. It doesn't bother me that like he's kind of like a recluse. He kind of keeps to himself. That's fine, dude. We pay you to hit. You know, we pay you to play left field now. Go do that. You know, if you want to be friends with people, be friends with people. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Just produce. You know, I'm sure everybody who listens to the show doesn't care, you know, for the most part, okay? Obviously, there's some restrictions, but for the most part, you don't care who's on your team. You just want them to produce. You know, everybody has their favorites. Don't get me wrong. I do. You know, but at the end of the day, you want to win. And you know what? If this guy's going to help us win, I don't care how much he makes. Go win. You know? And that's really, you know, all I got to say about that. So coming up, we're going to talk to Nick Rosselli. We're going to do our, we're just going to, you know, talk about game 2. We're going to talk about game 3, kind of how we feel the series is going to progress from both perspectives. We'll talk a little Mets. We'll talk a little Phillies. And we will, you know, just kind of see where that goes. So again, thank you all for joining us today for the All Around Sports Podcast. And we'll catch you with Nick Rosselli. 3, 2. All right, everybody, we're back here on the All Around. And ladies and gentlemen, without any type of real introduction, but he always gets one because I love him to death. He's back, folks. Feeling a lot better. I know he had a little upper respiratory last week, so he wanted to kind of take the week off, which I understand. Now back on the mend and ready to talk some Knicks Sixers is my nephew, Nick Rosselli. Nick, how you feeling, bud?
Good. Nice to be here.
Yeah. So, is it really nice to be here? I mean, you've watched your team now 2 games. Now, last night, to be fair, I even said to you, like the whole Embiid thing, when that went down, I'm like, Sixers are going to probably win this game now without Embiid. So, to your response, I'll let you have the floor.
Yeah, I thought they played pretty good last night. Besides the fourth quarter, I mean, they could not shoot in the fourth quarter. Um, I think Maxey really struggled. I mean, he plays so much, so it kind of makes sense. Otherwise, his team didn't play that bad. They just don't want bench guys, and I really think that was the downfall yesterday. Um, I
I
thought,
think they uncovered Barlow yesterday. I do. I think
100%. He was so good during this whole season, and then the playoffs, they just haven't played him that much.
with an athletic team, kind of how the Knicks are. Okay, because when you don't have Mitchell Robinson on the floor, he didn't play last night. But if you have 5 athletic guys, and I'm going to count Cat as an athletic guy because he can do things that other bigs can't. You need a guy like Barlow who's going to actually guard him and be athletic enough to try to defend him at the rim, and he's long too. I think when I saw him go in the game and I kind of watched how he started playing, I was like, oh, this ain't good, you know.
Yeah, I think without Embiid, he's the best center option. I don't know why they haven't even tried it yet. I mean, I guess the Celtics series they really didn't need a guy for now. The Celtics centers weren't like insanely good or anything, but the Knicks had one of the best in the game. So I think Barlow matched up great against him. I really
I
do.
agree. And I agree with you. I think the Knicks got lucky last night. And you know, from my perspective, I think they got lucky because to your point, Nick, they had a lot of open shots that they just flat out missed. You know, Paul George had a bunch of open ones. Edgecombe. I mean, to me, the X factor besides Embiid, obviously, is Edgecombe. Edgecombe is on another level good.
Yeah, for a rookie, I mean, he's exceeded every expectation I had, but I mean, he's playing great in the playoffs. I mean, he's the most I thought during the season, like during the playoffs so far, he's been one of their more reliable guys. I mean, he plays defense. He shot the ball pretty well in the Celtics series, but this series just hasn't like as good. But we'll see when they get back home.
I want to ask you a serious question because I got a text last night from a friend of mine, okay? And he actually meant this. So I got to get your perspective on this. He sent me a text. He goes, Edgecombe, dot, 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 better than Cooper Flag. Your thoughts?
I think Flag is better. Uh, in the long run, I think Flag's obviously going to be better, but I don't know. I think Flag's better.
I I like VJ Edgecombe. I really do. We've talked about this ad nauseum about my feelings towards him. I love the way he plays. He's a competitor. He scares me. He legit is like when he has the ball in his hands, like I think he's gonna make every shot he takes. But to compare him to Cooper Flag, dude, come on, man.
Flag is pretty
Yeah, that's like
insane.
bringing a knife to a gunfight, bro. Like you don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What's your thoughts on Friday?
Um, I think the Sixers now win one. Um, I'm not surprised that it went down 2-0. I'm really not.
Okay.
If they won a game in New York, I would have been surprised, honestly. I mean,
The
game
way the
two was
Knicks have
the
been
game to win.
the way the Knicks have been playing too, Nick, like it was going to be hard to win on that floor. It was.
Oh,
It
100%.
just, I mean, they had a 4 game stretch where they were on a different level, man. Like, I mean, and I've watched a lot of basketball games in my life. I have. Like, I've watched a lot of playoff games when I was your age. Okay, I've never seen this before. You know, to see what I saw those last 4 games, and even yesterday to an extent, but I think they were thrown off by the whole no Embiid thing. I think they had a plan going in, and then when they found out that Embiid wasn't playing, they tried to switch everything up on the fly. And I'm going to be honest with you, it almost backfired in their face.
Well, and also I think a big factor is going to be OG. I mean, he might.
Mm,
I saw that he might not play game three. So
I'm
I
glad you
mean,
brought that up because I talked about this in the open. It's a big concern that OG is probably not going to play. Okay, like it's a big concern, but and I'm going to give Mike Brown a lot of credit for this. He's developed a bench now where they have depth. Okay. You have a guy like, I'm going to say 3 names at you. Landry Shamet being one, because Landry Shamet, like, towards like to be the middle, I know he got hurt a little bit, but like middle end of the regular season was getting some real minutes. He can shoot a three, he can defend. Okay. Muhammad Diawara is another guy. Okay. He is a guy that they've developed over time this past year, and he's just a long 3-and-D guy. He's got length. He can do a lot of things right on the floor, and he doesn't hurt you. Like he doesn't make mistakes. And the wild card in all this is Jeremy Sohan. Okay, you got a guy in Jeremy Sohan who you picked up literally off the scrap heap from San Antonio. Didn't have a plan for him. He just wanted another wing defender, right? For this exact reason, because OG Anunoby, as great as he is injury prone, and he's a slow healer. So because of these things, you needed depth. So I really think they're not. It's bad, but it's not as dire as it was, say, 2 or 3 years ago.
yeah, I just want to see how it plays out without him because I mean he was insane for like the past 2 games.
Oh
He's been
yeah, he's been great. I mean,
honestly.
you can't deny how great he's been, and he's figured something out too. Like he's been hitting the three a lot more this year than he has been in years past. But also that three kind of it opens up the lane for him. He's very much I'm going to either take a three or I'm going to drive to the basket kind of guy. Now he has hit some mid-range shots here and there, but all in all, it's really been mostly threes and dunks, and that's been his game the entire season, and it's worked. And now Bridges is kind of starting to get into that realm too of like he's starting to attack the basket more, which he's never done as a Knick. So those are all really good signs. If they can keep that up, that's great. Obviously, Brunson's been great. Josh Hart has been what he does, and Cat's really been the X factor in the series, in my opinion.
I really liked what like Bridges has done. I think he's looked pretty good in his role. I mean, he struggled in the beginning of the Atlanta series. Didn't he have
Mm.
like 2 points one game or something?
Well, he got benched. So he got
Really?
benched in game 4, I believe. I could be wrong. It might have been game 3. Actually, it was game 3 because of the game they lost. Okay. He got benched in game 3. Deuce McBride played the majority of the crunch time, all the crunch time minutes, but the majority of the fourth quarter. And I think that was kind of Mike Brown's message to Bridges, say, you know what, you got to get your hair out of your rear end. Like it's time for you to kind of either get with the program or you're going to get left behind. And I think from that moment on, he's been a different player. Even in the next game, he had a better game. And now he's taking that now to a different level. So, and Bridges has been great defending Maxi. I mean, I thought he's been, because Maxi is very, very hard to guard. He's so fast.
Yeah, Maxi's. I mean, it just he hasn't looked good at all. And
Is he
is
hurt,
it the
Nick?
minutes? I think he's just playing too much. I really
Okay.
do. I think he played 47 minutes yesterday. I think he only sat for a minute. And they don't have anybody else. They
Yeah, that's
simply
the
don't.
problem. Well,
They
the biggest
traded
thing in
McCain
this
away.
series, yeah, the biggest thing in this, oh, why, 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 for what, for
So bad.
what? Uh, the biggest thing in this series has been depth. Okay, the Knicks can easily go 9, 10. I mean, you can even say 11 at some point deep if they really wanted to. They're not going to, but you've seen it. You've seen your starting fives, what you have. The five has pretty much been the entire year. It's been Cat, Brunson, Hart, Bridges, and Anunoby. Okay. We're going to use Anunoby in this kind of equation for right now. Obviously, I don't think he's playing game three. I don't think he's playing the rest of the series. But for this conversation, I want to include him. Okay. But now you have Deuce McBride, Jordan Clarkson, Mitchell Robinson. Jose Alvarado comes in the game and spells Brunson. Okay. And then you have a guy like a Landry Shamet. Okay. So that's 10 right there. Okay. Not to mention sometimes Ariel Hukporti when somebody gets in foul trouble, or a Tyler Kolek who's given them really good minutes, in the times where they've really needed him. He's really been more of a bench player. Jeremy Sohan. Like you have guys that any of those 12 guys, any combination of those 12. Now, granted, you want the better guys on the floor during crunch time. But in those in between, like the late first quarter, early second, or like the late third, early fourth, where everybody's trying to get their rest to finish the half strong, they have guys in there that can make shots. They have guys in there that can move the ball. They have guys that are just not going to be stiff standing in the corner. Like that's the separator with this team, and that is a completely different thing from years past.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I mean, the years past, they just never had a bench. I mean, it
No,
was Brunson playing 45 minutes. It was Cat playing 45. It was all them playing 45
Josh
minutes.
Hart,
And
not last year, but the year before that. Josh Hart, before he got hurt, played 48 minutes straight for like 4 straight games.
I remember that
Yeah,
too.
like come on, dude. Like
It's not sustainable.
no, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So again, I think they're in trouble, but not in trouble with OG. It depends on how fast he comes back. Now, again, like you got to still, we still got games to play. There's things can change in a minute. Like we've seen that before. And I feel confident to know that like they're going into Philly. And let's be honest with something. Knicks fans are going to take over that building again. Tell them they're gonna. I know they tried to keep him out, but I'm telling you, they're going to be in there, and it's going to be loud. So you have that too. And I think this series I don't think is over by any stretch of the imagination. But if Friday goes the way of the Knicks, then you know,
It's over then.
yeah, it might be. It might
It's
be.
over
Hey,
then.
real quick, before we get into some baseball stuff, I want to get your thoughts on a couple things. So I'll hit you rapid fire. Um, Spurs T Wolves. What's your thoughts on that series right now?
I'm surprised the Timberwolves took game one still. Uh,
I am too.
I'm surprised they did. I think the Spurs kind of ride it out and get on top of it. The Timberwolves are gritty. They're good. I think the Spurs are really good though. I
Yeah, I
mean,
think the Spurs. I think this. You know me. I think Spurs are the best team, and I think they kind of they let one go in game one. How do you have a guy Wembanyama have 11 blocks in a game and lose the game like that? That's like unfathomable to me. I don't know how that happens. But then they recover in game two and they were great.
yeah, I think they keep it. I mean, I think they win 5 or 6. Honestly, I mean, honestly, props to the Timberwolves for getting there. I mean, they
Yeah,
beat a Nuggets team that
yeah. That Nugget team
I
was
didn't
very
think
good.
they had a shot.
Same, and even without DiVincenzo, which I think now you're starting to see that injury start to kind of say, okay,
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
this is where they missed him. What's your thoughts on Cleveland and Detroit?
I think this series can be good.
Yeah,
I think it goes to 7 probably. Um,
we'll see.
I like the Caps more, if I'm being
Okay.
honest, but I do think the Pistons win in 7.
Yeah, the Pistons are a weird team.
They are.
They're a weird team. They kind of go as Cade goes, and that's fine. I mean, Cade to me had an MVP type season. I don't think he'll win the MVP, but I think he had an MVP type season. I don't trust them, and I think they're too emotional for their own good. I think when they see the Knicks, obviously they're gonna, they see red when they see the Knicks. I mean, look what they did 3 games; they beat them up. So like that part of it scares me, but also they're unpredictable. Like they have the Isaiah Stewarts and the Tobias Harrises in the world that are very highly emotional players that can get caught up in something that can hurt their team.
I'm so surprised Tobias Harris had 30
Oh,
points in a game
dude,
7.
me too, bro. Like, where
It still breaks my
where
heart.
was this guy 6 years ago when you needed him? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it was game 6 against the Knicks 2 years ago. I think he had
Yes,
0 points.
yes, he did. Yes, he did, and he
Pretty.
looked pretty bad. And you know what? I remember I remember we were talking about this because when he signed with Detroit, you're like, this is the best thing ever. Like he's gone. Like I don't have to,
Yeah.
and now like look at him, he's a different player. Real quick, let's talk. I want to just get your thoughts on the Lakers and OKC.
Yeah, I think the Thunder 4 or
It's a wrap.
5. Yeah,
It's
it's
a wrap.
over.
Yeah, the Lakers can't hang with this team. They're too
No,
good.
no way.
No, LeBron can't do it by himself. And to me, like he doesn't have anything. Like it's not his fault. It's just that again, he doesn't have his star player Luka Doncic with him. Reeves is not healthy, and the rest of these guys are good but not great. And you know what? LeBron's still trying to be the LeBron James of 15 years ago. And listen, it ain't gonna work. It's just they're too good.
Honestly, I was surprised that he even got past. I mean, the Rockets played really bad. I was never a
Oh, they
fan
were
of them,
bad, dude. They
but
didn't have a point
man,
guard. Yeah.
that's so bad.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. And listen, I mean, you saw how LeBron played in that series. I mean, he played out of his mind. And for
Pretty good.
somebody,
Yeah.
he, I had this conversation with a buddy of mine years ago, and we would talk about like LeBron and how he was going to age. And he even said to me, he goes, "Listen, when the time he's in his 40s, he's still going to play. He's going to average probably 16 and 8 rebounds." But he surpassed that. I mean, he's
Still having
he's
20.
unbelievable. And at this age, to do what he's doing is just a feat in itself. It really is. All right, let's talk some baseball. So your team fired their manager and it's gotten pretty hot. So what's your thoughts about that?
I was a big Thompson fan, honestly. I
Okay.
really liked him. I mean, he led them to the playoffs 4 years. I mean, the roster is really good,
Hmm.
no doubt. I was a fan of him. I think his bullpen decisions weren't great sometimes. I think he was probably a little too old school
Okay.
sometimes. Um, Always relying on matchups based. And I mean, now we see Marsh. He plays more against lefties, and he's swinging the ball pretty well now. Um, I think just little changes made a difference. New voice in the house, and it's working pretty good so far. So
Listen, you always hear the term the back of the baseball card, especially with that group. I mean, they're as good as advertised. And again, if their pitching can come around a little bit, is Wheeler back yet or is he not back yet?
yeah, he pitched his third game yesterday. He's been
Okay, how
pretty
is
solid.
yeah, he's been okay.
He has command issues otherwise, but
But that was his problem
yeah,
in New York, dude. Like he would the thing with and this is what is crazy to me about Zach Wheeler, right? So Zach Wheeler as a Met would have four beautiful innings of baseball and then have the one blow up inning where you're like, this guy can't get out of this inning. And it could happen at any time. So when he left, I remember telling you, I remember talks to my brother in law about this. Bye, see ya. Like you guys are going to see exactly what I saw, and then he turns into a Cy Young pitcher, which that's what happens when you leave the Mets. You become great. But I didn't see that coming. But to see him get through what he got through last year, that was a pretty significant injury he was dealing with. So to see him back is a good thing.
I'm surprised he came back this early. Honestly, I was thinking maybe early June.
Yeah,
Um, but it's great to have him back. I mean, he's already the second best pitcher right now.
yeah.
Sanchez number one. I
He's
mean,
been great.
it's Nola and Painter really. It's
Yeah.
them two. First it was Taiwan Walker, but
Bye. See
can't say much about him.
ya.
Um,
Don't. It's not worth it. Yeah,
oh,
that's crazy.
yeah, but today they were down 12-1 as
Mhm.
this time we're recording this.
Yeah.
And Painter had a really bad game. He gave up
Okay.
like 7 in 3 innings.
Well, it's baseball, dude. Like, with baseball, you're going to have 50 wins, 50 losses, and then the other 62, you kind of figure it out. Like, that's kind of the way baseball works, as you know. My team, I mean, they've won two series in a row. I mean, okay. They're banged up. Okay. I'm still, I want to believe, but I can't believe. You know what I mean? Like, I want to kind of jump back in with both feet and go, you know what? Maybe they're going to turn this thing around. But then when you see little things happen, like today, like, it just they got to put as much as the 12 game losing streak hurt them, they got to put now a 10, 11 game winning streak to kind of get themselves back level again. And I don't know if this team can, especially now. They're banged up pretty bad. I mean, you got three opening day players from the opening day lineup are on the injured list. Okay, Lindor, Robert, and Polanco. Now, in return, you've kind of uncovered a couple of things. You got this Melendez kid who's actually been very well for them. Okay. Vientos is starting to, he's very streaky, hot and cold, but I think he's solidified now. He's the first baseman. Okay. Bo Bichette is kind of, again, like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like he's been okay, but he hasn't been himself. Soto's been he's been carrying the team. And I love the fact that he started hitting him leadoff. I think that was a very smart move on Mendoza's part. I really do. I don't trust their pitching. I don't trust their bullpen. I think their bullpen stinks. I think besides Peralta and McLean and Clay Holmes, who actually has probably been their best pitcher, I should say probably, he has been their best pitcher. But besides those three guys, the rest of them, forget it. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from day in and day out. And every time that bullpen door opens, you're scared to death. So can't win games like that. So is it really the manager's fault? No, I think it's a poorly constructed roster, and I think you got guys that are very they're underachieving. So that's got to turn around if they want to turn this around. And if it doesn't, it's just going to be another lost season.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of their lineup. I mean, going into the season, just too many, you don't know what you're going to get from them.
Too
And
many what
I think
ifs.
their bullpen's terrible.
They stink, dude.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, their bullpen stinks. I mean, I'm almost to the point now, and I'll say this into a microphone. I think when Kodai Senga comes back, you got to make him the closer. I really do. I mean, like, what else can you do with this guy? He can't start anymore. So you know what? Let him throw max. Let him throw max effort, and then just let him use the forkball. I think he'd be a pretty good closer. I really do. I mean, it can't be any worse than what they got now.
can't be worse than Devin Williams.
Oh, Devin Williams is so bad, dude. Oh my gosh, like it's so bad. It's so bad. All right, brother. Listen, thank you very much. It's great to talk to you. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're feeling better, and we'll catch you up next week. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Good to
All
be
right, man.
here.
Sounds good. Yep. Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. That's right. Acknowledge your tribal chief. So, when I started doing the podcast again, I got a text message from my boy Steve. Shout out to my boy Steve. He's a big wrestling fan, just like I am. We worked together a long time, and one of the things we share in common is our love for our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. So he sends me a text. He goes, "Hey, Jim, I'm glad you're back. I love the show, but you didn't acknowledge our tribal chief after his big win at WrestleMania 42. And I said, you know what, Steve? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I never even thought of even talking about WrestleMania. So with Backlash coming up, I'm like thinking to myself, hey, better time than now to bring it up, right? So again, acknowledge your tribal chief, the world heavyweight champion. And I know people have said, oh, it's one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was really good. One of the better ones we've seen in years. But one of the greatest. Pause on that. Like that's. Well, I mean, you mean to tell me like that's better than Hogan and Andre? No. It's better than Brett and Shawn, the Iron Man. No, it's not. Better than I'll give you another one. Rock and Steve Austin, WrestleMania 16, I think it was in Philadelphia, 1999. Better than that. Maybe, but one of the greatest of all. No, it's not the greatest of all time. Okay, can we stop with that, please? Let's stop with that. We can. I'm a big CM Punk fan as well. Don't get me wrong. I think again, what they did and the story that they told, I thought was tremendous. But let's pause on the whole greatest WrestleMania main event of all time. But I do want to say this about our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. How good? I mean, seriously, how good is he? And what I think is going to happen, on at Backlash, I believe on Saturday. I think so. I think it's on Saturday. I don't know. I feel that Roman and Jake, we're going to have a great match. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth, and I also think that at the end of the match, Jacob, and I love Jacob Fatu. I love his energy. I love the way he speaks. I love the realness about him. I love his story. I love everything about him. But I do think that Jacob Fatu acknowledges our tribal chief. And now you're going to have Roman, Jimmy and Jay, and Jacob. Good luck. That's it for the All Around Sports Podcast this week, guys. Again, thank you all so very much for everything. The Instagram comments, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody you know, okay? We're getting this thing off the ground. We're moving. We got some guests coming up in the next couple of weeks that I'm working on. I'll be happy to announce that once everything is finalized. Again, I got some things cooking, so it's going to be all good. And again, I want to thank you all for joining us today on the All Around Sports Podcast, and we'll see you next week. Take care.